Africa's largest sugar producer, Illovo Sugar, says their half-year production was 9.4% higher than the same period last year. However, the company highlighted that sugar sales in the domestic market are still expected to be slightly lower than compared to last year due to increased levels of imported sugar. Company CEO Graham Clark explains why it's important for the local sugar industry to be protected against sugar dumping.
We're trying to address the import controls, certainly in Tanzania and at an industry level in South Africa, because we believe, certainly in South Africa, that we have a fundamentally competitive business. The prices of the sugar that people are trading on world markets at the moment is below the cost of production, so it's technically dumped. And we don't think that by introducing some protection into the South African market that would be protecting an inefficient industry. It's an industry that's fundamentally competitive. It's an industry that directly and indirectly employs 1 million people in South Africa. It's also an industry that is acknowledged by government as the agricultural sector that's most effectively embraced land reform in South Africa. So we think we've got a good South African story to tell as an industry. We don't think we're inefficient. And we think that because there's historically so many trade imbalances across the world of sugar, that it's important for our industry to be protected locally.
I wanted to talk about that because you
Sure.
made an application to ITAC. What's
Yes.
the status on that? Has it been referred to the Department of Trade and Industry?
Yeah, I think it's been referred to ITAC. I think that it's currently going through a consultation process, which I believe finishes soon, and then there will be a further meeting of ITAC, we understand, in December, and to move the process forward. So I think the public consultation period is coming to an end now, and we as an industry await the outcome of that application process.
Besides South Africa, you mentioned Tanzania
Yes.
is also experiencing
Yes.
the same issue. How are you tackling or suggesting to tackle the problem in that specific region?
Yeah, I think it's causing some issues in the sub-region. Tanzania is a sugar deficit country, and that's mainly why we invested there. And we like to establish an operating base in countries that are deficit in sugar, because as you mentioned previously, domestic markets are the bedrock of our business. And we're engaging government in that process. I think you have to recognize that in both the case of Tanzania and in South Africa, there's levels of tariff protection in place, but they're just not effective at the current world market prices. So, the tariff protection that's currently in place in Tanzania, in South Africa, has been at these levels for a number of years now.
What level is it sitting at the moment, and what level would you be comfortable with?
Look, I think it varies by country, and I think there's a change of basis in South Africa as well. So I don't want to dwell too much on that, but I think we've asked for a dollar-based reference price of $764 as an industry. I think that's what's before ITAC at the moment to be considered.
How much are you planning on spending on your capital expenditure?
Oh, I think we've got a capital pipeline which we published last year at our year-end results of about 4 billion rand. I think it's of that magnitude.
And are you going to be putting that in any specific projects?
Yeah, we've got we currently have a planning pipeline of projects across the continent. We're looking very seriously at another significant investment in Zambia. In Zambia, we think we've got a carbohydrate platform that is truly world-class, that is probably amongst the lowest cost in the world, and it therefore makes sense to continue to invest in maximizing value from that platform. So we have reasonably significant plans for Zambia. We're also looking to roll out some of our peripheral technology out of South Africa. We're looking at an option of a new plant in South Africa, or perhaps building a plant in Swaziland. And we'll continue to look for investment opportunities in the continent. I think East Africa is particularly appealing for us right now, and we're investigating a few opportunities to continue our sort of move up the east coast of Africa.
Let's talk about the co-generation now, because I
Yes.
know that you have got something set up in Swaziland,
That's
if I'm
right,
not
yes.
mistaken.
Yes.
How is that going? How much is it contributing to the national grid, and could you possibly be looking at replicating that in South Africa?
In Swaziland, as part of our expansion, we were able to negotiate a tariff with the power utility in Swaziland that made sense for us to invest. I think we're basically supplying in line with our contractual commitments, if not a little bit in excess of it. And it's working very stably for us. So again, it gives you the confidence to execute. I think our position in South Africa is we continue to engage government and see if we can find that sort of sweet spot of tariff and offtake agreement that might make a financial commitment attractive to us.